Hi, I'm Teresa Ruth Howard at MyBodyMyImage.com, and I'm sitting here with our body hero of the week, Lynne Greenber, who is the author of The Body Broken, which tells her story about her battle with chronic pain. And we'll get into that. But let's just talk about how we actually came to know each other. You have two children.
I do.
One of whom is a boy.
Benjamin, who is almost 17.
Almost 17. And I teach at the Ailey School, and I was Ben's ballet teacher. But this is when Ben was like a surfer dude. Like, how did he come to dance?
10 years old, probably. He danced in school in an African dance class, and I watched him. And he looked so joyous. He loved it so much that I said, do you want to do this on Saturdays? Because there's this great class at the Ailey School. And he said, okay. And that was it.
And that was it. And so, you know, I still call him Prince Ben, because he looks like a Disney animated prince with like the hair. We'll meet him later. And then I met you, because I had to meet the queen of Prince Ben. And so I met you, and we hit it off and things like this, but I never knew your story. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
At 19 years old, I went off a cliff in a car, and I broke my neck. I'm kind of a rare bone to break and survive, very high up in the skull. And after it was healed, I went back to normal life. And 22 years later, out of nowhere, I got a searing pain in my neck that's never gone away.
What's fascinating, because I'm reading the book now, what's fascinating to me is that you do kind of so nonchalantly just say, I was in a car and I fell off a cliff. I broke my neck and then I got better and now I have a pain in my head.
It's better to be light about these matters, isn't it?
Yeah, because
it's been such a trial for our family that it's better to just say, let's be straightforward and logical and clear-cut about it, and every family goes through crisis.
Right.
And this was just the particular one our family has faced.
Now, just so we can get an idea, because I was like, what is that? You're sitting here now and you're actually in pain. Can you explain? Because in the book, it's like, I'm reading it now, it's absolutely amazing. It's a little terrifying because you can't wrap your head around. You can't wrap your head around something like that. So it comes up this way.
It's a C1 and C2 nerve damage associated with a broken bone, and it begins at the base of my skull where the bone is broken, and every nerve has a track. The nerve moves. The pain moves. So the pain path of this particular nerve, these two nerves, is through the center of the skull, kind of where the large tendon is that goes through the center of the brain. And so the pain juts through there and comes to rest behind my eyes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the descent into hell.
Yeah. I love the metaphor you use in the book about falling. I mean, it's beautiful the way you tie it in with this, because you were on a date before the car accident, the dates before you had fallen down off a horse, I think, and the next one was
skeet shooting, then gun backfired on my second date with the boy, and I flew backwards. The third date, he went off a cliff.
Right. And so I love the way that you kind of like, and as you said, the descent into hell was this place that you had never imagined for yourself.
So falling was literal, and I fell off a cliff, and all those other dates. But then falling became a metaphor for the psychological fall, the spiritual fall, the loss of hope, the psychic fall, the fall of my body from functionality into dysfunction. So the first half of the book does chart the fall.
Right.
And I do fall sort of to bottom. And then the second half of the book attempts to deal with rising and redemption, and how one can pick oneself up and brush oneself off and live a life that's changed, but return to the
Right.
land of the living and
Right.
no longer be in hell. So that's what sort of ties the book together.
And that's the beauty of it, because when I first met you, I would have never, wouldn't know. I was like, when Ben told me, I was like, what? Because you were you were bubbly, you were laughing, you had effervescence about you, and who would have ever known? So that's why I think that's why I chose you as a body hero, because I think that a lot of times we get caught up in things that are kind of not, they're real to us when they're real to us, like the way we look or things like that. It's a real thing, day to day. It's a struggle that people have, and it's not until you're confronted with something, until you've either lost something or you experience something, that kind of puts things in perspective, and it causes you to shift. And that's why I chose you.
Thank you. It's the transcendence above whatever the hardship is. How does one get wings and fly? How does one rise above the fray? How does one get over whether it's angst over the way our body looks, or whether it's despair over how our body feels?